Hey guys, we're live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addicts, and today my guest is Corbin and Emmy. How are you guys doing?
We're doing
We're
great.
doing pretty good.
Great. Thanks
Great.
for having us on.
Yes,
We do
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm just taking it one day at a time. I was up working late last night, so I'm not a morning person. I was kind of sleeping in a little bit. So go ahead and introduce yourselves in case people don't know who you are. Tell people, where you guys are from and what you do and all that. Go ahead. I'm going to put you on full screen so I can see you.
Okay, so my name's Amy,
My name's Corbin.
and we are full-time resellers. We sell video games, consoles. That's pretty much the gist of what we sell, but we're kind of branching out into other things. So you want to tell them?
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then Amy's about 5 minutes away from Louisville, right across the bridge in Clarksville, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
So we met through mutual friends, and I remember one of the first things I texted her was, "Do you play video games?" And she sent me a picture back with her Xbox set up, and I was like, I think I'm in love. So we played video games together for, I don't know, probably 3 months before we actually met in person. And then, started dating and moved in together. And our love for video games has now brought us here.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how old are you guys, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 23.
I'm 20.
Really? Okay. Because you guys look super young. And so I was just, when I was your age, I didn't have, I wasn't reselling on eBay. I didn't have a YouTube channel. It was just a different age back then. So that's why I was kind of wondering, I was like, I wonder how old these guys are. But yeah, I'm a subscriber of your channel. Sometimes I'm in the background during your live shows or something, just kind of lurking, trying to help you guys get your watch time hours. So I definitely try to help other people that are smaller YouTubers because, I know you don't believe me, but the 1,000 subscribers is the easy part. The watch time hours is the hard part. So you just got to keep hustling. So, man, I was following you guys on Instagram, and you guys have been putting together like $900 and $1,000 weekends and sales. Tell me how your sales have been. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I guess this past weekend we had about a $900 sale weekend. I'm also in the National Guard. So usually when I go out to the field and Amy's here alone, usually our sales drop a little bit just because there's one person working instead of two.
Yeah, I was only able to get 100 listings done, but I'm the one picturing, cleaning, and listing at that point whenever he's gone. So
which is still good. I think that's still pretty good.
For 100 for a weekend.
But so I guess we average usually between $800 and $1,000 on a weekend. And then throughout the week, we're pretty consistent with about $150 a day sales on eBay. And we like to sell our more expensive items either on Mercari because they have a 3-day return policy versus eBay's 30-day return policy. So it gives the buyer 3 days to break our systems and return it versus 30 days. And then obviously Facebook Marketplace is a huge part of our business model. So.
Okay, awesome. Let me catch a few people in the chat. We have the Flippin' Sports guy is here. He says, cheap finds, gold mines, have a good show. I'll watch the replay. We got Greg here from Rocky Mountain Resale. He says, what's up? We got my buddy Joe here from Philly Picker. He says, what's up, Jeff and everybody? Hey, thanks, Joe. Thanks for coming by and hanging out. We got the bearded veteran in the house. That's my little brother. And he says, hey, Greg. He says, from the 502. So my brother actually lives in Louisville, and I was in Louisville for about 30 years. So it's kind of my hometown. I'm in Tampa right now.
Okay.
So, so I was in Louisville for about 30 years. So I worked at the General Electric plant because you're from Louisville. You might know where that is. So, and I wanted to say, hey, to Butterfly Hustles is in the chat. So, hey, how are you doing, Butterfly? Thanks for coming in and hanging out with us. So, kind of talk to me a little bit about how did you guys get started into reselling? And are you both full-time resellers right now at the moment, or do you work a full-time job as well, or kind of walk through that a little bit?
So I'm in the National Guard. It's not a full-time gig. It's just usually once a month. I joined when I was 18, so straight out of high school. And I'm 23, so I've been in 5 years now. But yeah, our full civilian time job is reselling, just yard selling, thrifting. We thrift every single day. Flea markets, Goodwills, whatever we can find stuff cheap and sell for more expensive online.
Which is every reseller.
Right, yeah. So actually it's kind of a bad story on how we started. I got arrested 2 times in a 2-month period. And, in the military, drinking is a big thing. So it's drinking related, I didn't kill anybody, nothing crazy.
Yes, and this was before we had met.
Yes, and this is before we met. So I had to actually do volunteer community service hours in the back of a Goodwill. And at that point in my life, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just lost my job. I was a full-time. Go ahead.
And then we met here.
Yeah, and then we met.
He stopped drinking and all that stuff.
So I lost my job. Excuse me. And then I had to work in the back of a Goodwill and put community service hours in. And I was working the conveyor belt where everyone donates the stuff. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Corbin.
This Gatorade, I know, it's tearing my stomach.
Jesus.
And I started seeing what people were donating. I saw a PS3 Fat Boy come through, and just video games and just stuff that was worth money that I guess people just didn't care was worth money or just wanted to donate, just get rid of it quickly. And I remember it was a moment that like I just can't forget. I remember like putting everything together, and I called Amy immediately. I was like, listen, I have an idea. Like, we should like start buying stuff for cheap and, finding out where to get it at and then sell online for, market value. Mm-hmm. And we were so ignorant to reselling as a whole that we thought we were the first people to think of.
Yeah.
Like, we were that ignorant. We were just had no clue.
Like, we had no idea about eBay, and that's all resellers. We didn't know about Amazon. Amazon like kind of freaked our minds out. We was like, what? That's resellers? Yeah,
it was just kind of crazy though. So from then we kind of we were already nerds, so we already played Pokemon and had Pokemon cards and video games. And so at first we kind of tried to go a broad category route. So anything we could find we can make money on, we would do that. And then slowly we kind of learned, let's become more experts in one niche and then slowly branch out. So that's where kind of video games came in. We just we already knew about them. We knew everybody has video games. They're easy to find. So that's kind of what we.
And that's because of our first bulk buy.
Yeah.
So you got in trouble with the law. You end up doing community service at the Goodwill. You started looking around and seeing some of this merchandise they had laying around, and you're like, man, I bet I can resell some of this merchandise and make a profit. And then from there on out, you guys basically become full-time resellers. Is that kind of the way it works? Because you have health insurance and stuff with your job through the Guard, right?
Right. So
are you in the Army Guard or the Air Force?
The Army.
I was guessing Army. Okay, cool. So you do your like 1 week in a month type of drill, and then the rest of the free time you guys are just out hunting for deals, right?
We're just thrifting.
Yeah. So tell me about the story. I was watching your channel recently, and you guys gave this guy a lowball offer, and he got so mad he threatened to take your controller and throw it out in the field. Yeah. So tell us about that, because sometimes I try not to offend people too much, but it's just like one of them things that just happens because there's got to be profit margin. You can't buy a video game for $3 and sell it for 10 because there's just not enough profit margin there for you, So you gotta kind of finagle. You gotta kind of have a little bundle deal in there in order for there to be profit. So go ahead and tell us the story about how you pissed this guy off so badly that he just gave you free merchandise and said, "Here, take it and go. Just get out of here." So tell me about how that happened.
Okay, so I first went up to him, the cute face to kind of soften him up. And then I was like, hey, do you have any video games or anything video game related? And he comes out with, controllers, and he used to have video games, but he sold them all. And so Corbin hears that, and he comes over and he's like, well, how much do you want for this stuff?
Well, keep in mind, so it's like 7:30 a.m. It's an outdoor flea market, so everyone is just now arriving, kind of set up shop, which is our prime time. We immediately hit all the trucks, all the tables, and try to find, who has the video games. And he brought out 2 Xbox 360 controllers. Nothing special, but
crazy.
We have probably 10 consoles in the garage. We need a controller to match the console to sell it. And I was like, how much do you have on these? And he made a mistake. He said, make me an offer.
Yeah.
And when it comes to negotiating and offering, I'm not shy at all. That's just part of that's part of the business. You just you can't have your emotions and feelings involved when you're negotiating. I was like, I don't know. I'll give you $2 a piece for him. And he did not like that answer at all.
Well, he went into a story about how someone lowballed him in the past, and he just broke whatever it was and threw it behind him, like in the forest area. So he was telling Corbin that that's what he was going to do. And he was like, I'm going to break you in half and throw you in there. And
wow.
Yeah, it was funny, but he was like, you know what? I like you. I like your girlfriend. Take it. Like, either take it or I'm gonna throw it. So.
And I'm pretty stubborn as well, so it was hard for me to, like, I guess, humble myself and be like, okay, I'll take it, because I kind of just want to see, you know, how far I can throw it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we ended up getting those 2 controllers for free. They were, you know, nothing special, but I don't know. He was not happy with the offer.
Nope.
Right. So if it doesn't work out for you, it's not like it worked out for you in the end though, because you ended up getting free inventory that you could resell. So it worked out in the end. I mean, no bodily injuries, nothing to speak of. So it sounded like it worked out okay. I wanted to say hey to Greg from Rocky Mountain Resell in the chat. I wanted to say hey to Jen's Closet is here. She says, "What's going on, Jeff and Gus?" And I wanted to say hey to Carol Butterfly Hustle. She says, "I wish I would have started reselling at your age. You guys are killing it." And I wanted to say hey to Kentucky. Yay says, "I would have probably offered lower." I don't know if you can get lower than free, but yeah, $2 a piece. You can hustle. I mean, I've actually picked up an Xbox 360 controller for like $1. I was at this place and they didn't have like little battery cartridge in the back, and I was like, "Hey, there's no price tag." I'm like, "How much is this?" And she's like, "Well, it's not tested. I don't know if it works or not. So how's $1?" So I reached in my pocket and was like, here's $1. Because even if whether it works or not, in case you guys don't know, even video game systems and consoles and accessories, even if the stuff is broken, you can still resell it on eBay. So I was like, even if the thing is broken, somebody will buy it and take all the joysticks and buttons apart and Frankenstein 2 or 3 broken items to make one good one. So I was like, even if it's broken, it's got to be worth more than $1. So before the lady could even like have second thoughts about it, I was like, here's $1. Here, take it, take my $1, you know. So if you just hustle and go out there and look, you can find a lot of good deals. One of my favorite places to go look is at pawn shops, because you can go there and get some good deals. I mean, I was at a pawn shop last week and they had like a big bundle package of PS2 video games, and it was like 10 video games for $10, you know. And there were random games, but it's like you're paying $1 a piece. Like worst case scenario, you're going to make a 10x on your money. Like at worst, you're going to turn $10 into $100. I mean, that's before they take out fees and all that. So could you kind of talk about what are some of the favorite places that you guys like to go sourcing at? Because you recently took a road trip to West Virginia. You want to talk a little bit about that? I want to put you on full screen again. Go ahead.
Okay. You want to take over this?
Okay. Honestly, our favorite thing to do, or where to resource, is yard sales. That is our #1 favorite, because we know that we can get everything pretty much for $1. And Goodwill, they'll research the majority of the stuff that they get, so you're paying like $15 for an item, which we refuse to do that. It's a little ridiculous.
Yeah. When Goodwill charges retail prices, we just walk out the store.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, I guess yard sales is probably my favorite place to thrift.
Well, it's fun. You get to, you know, go house to house, because normally yard sales would go to like, you know, neighborhood yard sales. We just house hop.
Yeah, and I don't know. Again, $2 for those controllers is not bad. We bought an Xbox 360 for $1 a piece at a yard sale. We got
an Xbox One S for $9, and then NCAA Football 14 for $1
at the same yard sale.
At the same exact yard sale.
So, you know, we've been kind of spoiled, I guess, from yard sale season. It's kind of hard to transition, you know, into, I guess, when it's time to, yard sales are closed down here in Kentucky. We have to go to Goodwill, go to thrift stores, and pay up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy, I guess, how some people react versus other people.
Yeah. Or Facebook.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, the sports game they're talking about sells for like $100 online. So not all sports games are junk. I mean, there's some of them that aren't worth crap, but then there are some of them that you can find that's rare, limited edition ones, or it's maybe the last video game of that series that was released on that console, and it's worth a ton of money. So, you know, the only way you're really going to find out is to take your time and scan them and look them up, or you could just roll the dice and get stuff in bulk. So that leads me to my next question I wanted to talk to you guys about. I was watching your video recently where you guys bought like $250 worth of video games, like in a big bulk buy. Can you talk a little bit about, you know, when you're negotiating with this person, is there 1 or 2 items there that make you like pull the trigger? Like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and spend $250 on this bulk buy. Like, do you find somebody locally, like on Craigslist or OfferUp? Like, how do you go about meeting this person? How do you go about negotiating the deal? Or you show like, Was he at 500 and you offered him 100 and met in the middle at 250? Like, elaborate a little bit on that, because if you guys didn't get to catch the video, I got their links down below so you can check it out. Go ahead.
Well, right off bat, we knew all we were going to spend was 250 or lower because that's all we had on us cash wise.
Yeah.
And real quick, shout out to Kentucky Yay. He's the one who actually DMs on Instagram. He's a local reseller here. He doesn't do YouTube or anything like that, but he's been a day one subscriber, and he actually sent us this guy's information. So thanks to Kentucky Yay, we can make that video.
But go on about the bulk deal.
Yeah, so usually I'm the one who does all the negotiating. Again, I don't have any shame on my tactics. Amy's kind of like, oh, I don't want to offend them, you know.
Yeah, I feel so bad, so I just kind of sit there and just watch it happen.
Yeah, so I had a good idea of what he was bringing over. I saw his Xbox OG lot and his PS2 lot, and he actually made a mistake. He sold the two most expensive games out of the Xbox OG lot. So when he brought everything over, that was the very first thing I could start chewing him down on price. I was like, well, this Godzilla game is no longer here. That's $70. This other game was $50. So that's already, $120 that I have at my disposal to start chewing him down on price. He originally wanted $400 for the lot, which wasn't going to happen. But yeah, to go to your question, we don't look for one or two items that make it worth buying, because at $250, it's hard for a game or two systems to be worth $250,
unless there were multiple NCAA.
Right, which that's very rare. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm pretty good at mental math, and I have lots and lots of games memorized by price, so I can kind of look and scan. And I'm like, okay, I know we got $50 here. I know that Wii's $60. I know the PS2 is priced $60. The Xbox OG, we have a box and manual and inserts in the back room. That can be about $120. And I kind of just do it like that, build it up. And, I'm comfortable with a certain range. Again, $200 would have been great, but I wouldn't have gone $300 on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. When I try to do some of these bulk deals, I try to do the math in my head, even if I don't have time to sit here and analyze and check every barcode. Like, for example, last year I bought out this video game store, and the guy had like 800 video games, and I ended up paying like 54 cents a piece a game, because I knew in my head, I'm like, I know at a bare minimum I'm going to sell each one of these games for at least $10 a piece. So I'm thinking, okay, 800 video games, let's say at a minimum times $10. I'm like, okay, do I want to spend $420 to buy? Because it's got to be at least $8,000 worth of merchandise. Some of the stuff's going to be $15, $20, $25, $30. But I'm like, is this worth the risk or the gamble? Because I'm like, I have the cash, and if I don't pull the trigger right now, somebody else is going to swoop in behind me and do that. So it's got to be one of them things where even if you see one or two items that might be high dollar items, you have to think about the stuff's going to be spread out over multiple different items. So if you can get a bulk lot and buy stuff in a big lot, you can kind of have a little bit of leverage and a little bit of negotiating power. Because I think you guys spent $250, and what was the value of the total lot after you added it all up? Wasn't it like over 1,000, 1,500?
Yeah, it was around 1,300 to 1,500. I was the one who was valuing everything, because again, he was at drill, so I was at home doing everything, and I took the Skylanders. We had over 230 of them, and I only bought them at $200. So that's less than $1 a piece. So I can get. That's why I said 3 to 15.
Right. So even after you take out your cost of goods and fees and all that, you should probably still net about $1,000, probably a profit on that deal, probably, like give or take, like rough estimate, right?
Yeah.
You say?
Yeah. We should quadruple our money.
Yeah. I would just bringing that up because if sometimes people go to a thrift store or yard sale and they're like, well, I struck out and I couldn't find anything. And I'm just like, you can get stuff locally. I mean, if you look on Craigslist, you look on OfferUp, you look on Nextdoor app, there's places of people that have stuff locally. And also there's like video game collectors that might have 400 or 500 items in a big lot, and you can negotiate because they don't want to split up their collection. They want to sell it in a big lot. And if you show up with cash and maybe the rent is due next week, you might have a little bit of leverage in the negotiation. So let me catch a few people in the chat. We got Kentucky Yay. He says, how are your sales today? I wanted to say hey to Greg Rocky Mountain Resale. He says, Hollywood, it's a different nonprofit or corporation that might be run by different regions. It's not a franchise. Yeah, he was saying are all the good little locations owned by one big owner. Yeah, I think it's regional depending on like what city or what section they're in. They're not all the same because you might go to one Goodwill and the prices for, let's say, a leather jacket may be this price, and then you might go 20 minutes down the road to maybe half of that price. Like they're not like all one big conglomerate. They're not all priced the same. I wanted to say hey to Hot Flip Heidi is in the house. I wanted to say hey to Butterfly Hustles. Wanted to say hey to Little Debbie is in the chat. She says, hey, Jeff, and new friends. So thanks for coming by and hanging out. And I wanted to say hey to my buddy here, learn reselling with me. Hey, you can't rely on garage sales, that's for sure. So, yeah, that's what we were just talking about is having other ways to go sourcing besides just one location. And especially where you guys live in Kentucky, you know, it's not warm year round. I mean, I've lived there for 30 years, so I know, like, it's like 6 months out of the year it's hot, and the other 6 months out of the year it's like freezing cold, right? So it's not like it's like spring is like 2 weeks, fall is like 2 weeks, then it goes from hot to cold. It goes by pretty quick. Yeah. So you guys want to talk about how your sales were today and how things have been going for you guys? You talked about your sales over the weekend, but we had a question in the chat, wanted to know how it was going for you today.
Yeah, so today
was actually pretty good.
Was good. I'll talk Macari, you talk eBay.
I was going to talk Facebook Marketplace.
True. So Macari, this morning around 7 a.m., we sold a $300 item. It was a Nintendo Wii U Super Mario Maker that we got in another lot. We paid $225 for the whole lot, and we already profited about $200. And this item was the last item to go. I think we sold for $276 plus shipping, so right at $300. And then eBay, we sold a pair of Allen Edmonds shoes.
Sold the bat.
That was over the weekend, wasn't it? You're saying today.
Yeah, true. But we shipped it out today.
Yeah, true. Some Allen Edmonds shoes, which again we're trying to start slowly getting out of just video games because that can't always be, you know, what you rely on. Sold for about $40, and then sold a few video games for about 15 to 20 pieces. So.
And then today we just sold our washer and dryer on Facebook Marketplace for $300. So
yeah,
we're getting an upgrade, so they should be here tomorrow. But
yeah, I was gonna say, so you guys sold your old washer dryer and you're buying a new one. That's cool.
Yeah.
Jen's closet says, what are some of your favorite genre of games, systems, and equipment to look out for that you guys sell? You guys recently picked up like some horror, like scary video games as well. Those seem to sell higher than the other ones. You guys want to talk a little bit about that? She says, what are some of your favorite genre of games, systems, and equipment that you look out for?
Yeah, those are definitely higher items just because they are harder to find. They aren't mass produced as much as, say, a sports game. Our favorite stuff to look for, I would say, is Nintendo 64. Yeah. That would be the best. I mean, the cartridges are just gorgeous.
And
they're
GameCube.
So beautiful. Yeah, GameCube too.
So yeah, anything older Nintendo we love just because we know it'll sell more than likely same day, and there's always big profit margins.
Yeah. But if we find them new in box, like if we ever found a Nintendo 64 game new in box, we're not selling it. That's ours. Yeah. We're keeping it.
Yeah. Some of my favorite systems I like selling are Nintendo Wii's because you can usually pick them up for 15, 20, 25 bucks. And a lot of times they'll have controllers. They'll have the little nunchucks that come with it. They'll have like other accessories thrown in there. Like I had one that came with a little gun. It's like a little gun attachment that goes to the Wii, and just the attachment by itself sold for 20 bucks. And I paid $20 for the whole lot. So if you could just, I don't have one on me, but I would show you guys, but just like this little plastic gun attachment that goes to the Nintendo Wii controller sold for 20 bucks. And I paid like $20 for the whole lot. Yeah, it's like a Namco or thing. It was like white or clear color, and it just had like a little controller and then the stick set on top of it. So what I'm saying is if you can buy a big lot that comes, let's say, with 5 games or 10 games and extra controllers and stuff like that. Also, I'll buy systems even if they don't have the wires and stuff. Like even if you just get like the block by itself, because you'll acquire the other stuff over time. You might have, you know, the other like cables that go with it or an extra controller laying around the house, and you can piece one together, and you can also part stuff out as well. So, and then sometimes when you buy the system, you can hit the eject button and there's games hidden inside the console as well. So that's always fun when you're like, hey, there's $40, you know, Wii Sports or whatever, this game I just found inside the console, and you know, you paid maybe 25 bucks for the whole package. So that can be awesome.
Wii Sports. Always a Wii Sports.
Yeah, it's always something like that, or Mario Kart, or something that you
Yeah.
least expect. So, you guys said you're going to branch out to other categories besides video games. What other categories is it that you guys are looking to check out as well? Because I'm just curious about that.
So we've started with Barbie dolls, you know, in the toy section, shoes. Yeah. I mean,
and actually one of our biggest sales all of last year was a giant 500,000 sport card lot.
I forgot about that.
So during quarantine, we drove all the way to Maine, and we bought out a little sports card shop that was trying not to close down. So we went out in there and bought a giant bulk lot. I think we spent $600 total. And then a week later, I already had been talking to a guy who came to us before that lived in Louisville. And so about a week later, he came to our house again, and we sold the whole lot for, I think, $2,500 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, sports cards, I enjoy. I just don't enjoy the randomness, I guess. Sometimes they'll sell super fast. Sometimes you'll sit on them for months. But I do enjoy sports cards. They don't take up too much room, and unless you buy
500,000.
Yeah, they took up the whole garage pretty much. But yeah, well, shoes, hard goods, electronics, and then sports cards.
Yeah, one of the things that I really like selling is media items. So if you guys are out at a thrift store or a pawn shop or Goodwill, go over there and check out the DVDs and Blu-ray section and stuff, especially if you guys see like sealed VHS tapes. You got to think stuff that's like out of print that they're not making anymore. Because what I really like about it is let's say I have a particular Blu-ray or DVD, they can't go to Best Buy or Walmart and Target and go find that item because it's discontinued. They're not making it anymore. So the only place they can go find it is online, is either on eBay or Amazon, you know. So if you can find stuff like that that's out of print and you find it new in the shrink wrap, especially like a VHS tape, people basically give them away for free. So if you can pick them up for a quarter or 50 cents and you find one new in the shrink wrap, you know, I would definitely grab it and put it in the cart, because the ones that are sealed, CDs, VHS tapes, DVDs, Blu-rays, all the stuff that you can find that's sealed, that's maybe 20 years old, like maybe something from 2001 that they're not making anymore, you're going to be able to sell for a premium because it's out of date, it's out of print. Like if someone's looking for that particular model, what are they going to do? They can't go to Target, they can't go to Walmart, they can't go to Best Buy to get it. The only place they can find it is online. So, I mean, if you're already in the video game section anyways, just, if you know, go scan some, you're there scanning barcodes anyways. Just scan some barcodes and look at it. Because if you buy an item for 50 cents and you sell it for $10, $15, $20, you got a pretty good margin there. I just shipped out a DVD yesterday. It was this DVD called Nuts, and I paid 50 cents for it, and it sold for $20. So if you think about it, before you take out your eBay fees and PayPal fees and all that, you know, you're paying 50 cents for an item and selling it for $20. That's a 40x margin. So you got pretty good chunk of margin that you can use. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to say hey to Travis is in the chat, and I wanted to say hey to my buddy Mo, the reseller niche is here. And he says, what games would you guys not buy? Is there anything that you guys would say, let's hit the brakes, let's pass on this one? I don't think this is going to be the best investment. Is there anything that you would kind of shy away from?
Sports games.
Sports games.
If it's not Head Coach 09 or NCAA Football 14, we're not going to pick
or
it
NCAA
up.
Basketball 2.
Yes, or NCAA Basketball.
Well, no, I won't say that, because there's NBA Street.
There's a few that we would, but the majority of sports games, no.
Yeah.
Just not going to happen.
It's just, they're just so common. Everybody has them. And you literally cannot give them away for free.
No.
Nobody wants them.
Especially for N64 and Sega.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's
almost as worse as PS2.
Yeah.
But yeah, so pretty much any sports games, and stuff that was mass produced, but not popular, if that makes sense. So like your Splinter Cells aren't worth money. Your Hitman Hitman is not worth money. So I don't know, like Call of Duties, some of those games actually hold a pretty good, $13 to $15 value. That's because they're very nostalgic, and a lot of people have that nostalgic feeling towards them. But yeah, your games are mass produced but not loved and adored. Just kind of stay away from those. But again, that's just, the more you resell video games, the more you learn patterns and stuff like that.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, Kentucky Yay says I do very well on DVDs definitely recommend looking into them. Yeah, for sure. If you're just already in that section and you're already in that department, you might as well go check it out. They're small, they don't take up a lot of space. And if you get ones new in the shrink wrap, you don't have to worry about the disc being scratched up or damaged. And usually it'll help you get some positive feedback as well. Mm-hmm. So since you guys are essentially full-time resellers, you have 2 or 3 tips or tricks you can share with our viewers that would help them with their reselling business. Like, what off the top of your head, what would be some tips or tricks you can share with my audience?
I would say number 1, don't compare yourself and don't get discouraged. So the first people we saw on YouTube was Riley Roots and then Harry Tornado. And they were just so far ahead of us, it didn't seem realistic or possible.
Especially with their YouTube.
Right. So yeah, just don't compare yourselves. Don't worry about your 90-day eBay total. I know that's a number that everyone cares about. Mm-hmm. I don't think we'll ever have a huge 90-day eBay total because we sell our consoles on Facebook and Mercari. So
the bigger ticket items.
The bigger ticket items. So don't worry about that. Don't compare yourself. And just be prepared to fail because you'll fail a lot. So
and make sure we messed up in the very beginning. We didn't have a niche. So we were just going to pawn shops and flea markets, picking out everything, right? Anything that had some sort of value, we would grab it, put it in our cart, buy it. And then that's whenever we had our first bulk deal, and we can talk about that later. But we found our niche and we ran with it, and we've been doing really well with it.
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend finding something that you're good at and that you enjoy and that you'll be able to do for a long time.
If you don't enjoy cleaning it and picturing it and looking at it, then maybe not. Don't start with that. I know like VHSs and old DVD recorders and stuff like that. We don't enjoy testing, so we know if we do find one that's a good price, it's going to sit in the garage for 2 months before we get to it.
Yeah, same with clothes. I hate clothes.
Yeah, and just be disciplined. If you're going full time, no one's going to tell you to wake up in the morning. No one's going to tell you you need to go ship. It's you've got to have the mindset that we are very lucky to do this and no one's going to take it from us. Yeah. So every day we're excited just to get up and be able to do what we love to do. And we try to spread the word about reselling and let everyone know
as much as we possibly can.
9 to 5 is not your only option. I know a lot of people kind of get stuck in that box where, well, it's comfy, it's cushy. If I don't work hard, I'll still get paid the same. If I work even harder, I'll still get paid the same.
Yeah, there was this, I was going to McDonald's to pick him up some food at like 12 at night. And the lady, she was complaining about how much she hated work. And I was like, start reselling. And I kind of got into it with her and told her what it was. And she was like, okay, I'll take a look at that. And research it on YouTube. And so.
But that's the thing, we can tell 100 people to do it and 99 won't. So you just got to, if you truly enjoy it, go for it. Don't take it for granted.
Yeah, I'm a reseller evangelist as well. If I see somebody or talk to somebody and they say, oh, you're a reseller, I'll tell them about it. But what they might see the numbers like on a what sold video or see my 90-day total on eBay. But when they start trying it out for themselves, they start realizing that there's work involved. They're like, wait a minute, I have to go and find these items and list them and pack them, pull in orders and ship them. And they're just like, I want to spend time with my family. And I'm just like, okay, well, if you keep reinvesting your money back in your business, you're going to get to the point where, you're making, 5, 10, 15, 20 grand a month. And you can spend as much time with your family as you want, but they don't see it. They're in this mindset of, I want to make a quick buck. They're thinking almost like I want to be a Lyft or an Uber driver and make $200 in quick cash and go. They don't realize and understand it's a long-term thing. Like when I look at eBay, I look at it as this is going to be a stream of income coming in every month for the rest of your life. Like as long as the platform's here and as long as you're willing to put the work in, you have this extra stream of income coming in. As long as the platform's there and as long as you're following the guidelines, you've got this extra stream of income coming in. And eBay works 24/7. So even when you're sleeping or you're out to dinner or whatever, you're doing things with your family, you're still the platform is still up and running and you're still making sales. So we got a few questions in the chat. Travis says, how much have you guys made reselling to quit your full-time jobs?
Yeah, so like I said in the beginning, I actually got fired from my job.
Yeah, and I wasn't working. I was in college at that time.
So. I would say this year, this was our first full complete year. It started in January of 19.
Oh gosh, is it? I think.
Or 20.
I don't know.
I
don't remember.
It's our first full actual year.
Yeah.
I would say after our, the taxes and everything, we probably pulled in around 50 to 60,000 ish area. So yeah, I mean, we're not rich.
Are you including Facebook in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, we get to hang out every day together, and we actually enjoy working. We don't dread the 9 to 5. And again, it's our first year, so we have still tons to learn.
And we live below our means.
Yeah,
so.
And we're for our age, I would say we're very smart with our with the financial situation. We don't.
Yeah.
I've got my same car I've had in high school. We can go buy a new SUV right now if we wanted to, but my car works. It's paid off. Just live below your means, and you'd be shocked at how far your money can start to carry you. But
yeah, I'm agree with you. It's funny when you wake up and you don't have any mortgage payments, you don't have car payments, you don't have any credit card bills or student loans or none of that stuff. You're surprised at how much money you'll have left over at the end of the month. Where I live at, I have 2 roommates and my rent's only $350 a month. I was paying $1,200 a month to live closer to the beach. But then I was like, wait a minute, I'm working 7 days a week. Like, what is this money just going to pay rent? I'm going to be home to sleep 8 hours and get up and go to work again the next day. So it just, after a while, it's just like, is it really worth it? Because, it's a public beach. I can go drive to the beach and be there in 10 or 15 minutes and go anytime I want. It doesn't have to be in my front yard or backyard, So you just got to think differently. I think when you're a mind of an entrepreneur instead of being an employee, your thinking, your mind shift kind of changes a little bit. So we have a question from Hollywood Reseller. He says, were there many pawn shops that you've done business with? Are they open-minded to negotiating prices? Have you guys negotiated at pawn shops lately or no?
Oh yeah.
I guess I'll take this over too, because this is kind of my question. So I'm kind of weird. In high school, I used to go to car lots, like brand new car lots, and I would just talk people down on the cars. I would make them think I was going there to buy, a new Silverado or whatever, and I would kind of make up some story about what I did and whatever. But I just wanted to learn how kind of the psychology of negotiating works and just how much I could talk people down, because I have no idea why. I didn't want to be a reseller. It was just like I got bored. I went to a car lot and just started negotiating.
Yeah, and we did that a few times, like with different things, with that big VR thing. I don't remember what it was, but it was a big stuff. VR type thing worth like thousands of dollars, and we were in there like, yeah, we're gonna buy this. No, we weren't, but we were acting as if we were, and we were talking them down. We did the same thing at Kia.
Yeah, it's, again, I can't explain why we did it in the past, but it was just, I just liked knowing that your price is not what I'm going to pay.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay my price, and you're going to accept it. But yeah, so going to pawn shops, we've, the chain pawn shops kind of have rules and regulations they got to follow. So, you can be the best negotiator in the world, but if their bottom dollar is this and that's the rule, then you can't do anything. The mom and pawn shops though, you can definitely talk people down. It's kind of rare that you talk them down on one item, but if you're buying 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 items, that's when they're more lenient with the I guess the market value that they have in place. So.
Yeah, I shop at pawn shops a lot. That's one of my niche places that I shop at. And I'll tell you guys a couple of secrets. If you go to the mom and pop shops, they have to make their quota of their money on an item, and they're not willing to budge on prices as much. But if you go to places, let's say like Value Pawn, Cash America Pawn, some of these bigger places, and you buy stuff in bulk, they're willing to work with you, especially if they recognize you. Like if you come in once a week, once every 2 weeks, like I go to this one pawn shop, and when I walk in the door, they know who I am. They're like, "Hey Jeff, how you doing? How's your day going?" And now they know what type of items that I'm looking for. And so like I have one pawn shop, and I'll buy DVDs brand new in a shrink wrap for 25 cents. Even if I sell them for $10 a piece, I only got 25 cents. So think about it. I buy 4 of them for $1. let's say I sell them for $10 a piece. I turn my dollar into $40. So I'll go in there now and talk to him, and then he'll say, "Oh, you're looking for DVDs?" And he'll come out with a whole bin of DVDs that he's had in the back room that nobody else has got a chance to look through yet. They were sitting in the back room. So the biggest thing that I would tell you guys is maybe the first couple of times you're in there, just don't try to haggle with the people. Work on building up a relationship with this guy. You're going to see him again. So instead of trying to be in an arm wrestling match, like I have to win this arm wrestling match, like try to win this person's business. Try to like build a relationship with this guy. Like I won't come in there and say, "Hey, he's asking 20, let me offer him 10." I say, "Hey man, how are you doing? How was your day going? How was your weekend?" You want to build up a rapport and build up a relationship with this guy. And maybe the first 2-3 times you're in there, maybe you pay full asking price. And then guess what? Maybe the 4th, 5th, 6th time you're in there, the guy works with you. Like I have a place that I go to. It's a liquidation place, right? And for the first 2, 3, 4 times I was in there, I would just talk to the owner. I'd say, "Hey, Tom, how are you doing? How is your kids doing? How is your family doing?" Right? We would just strike up a conversation. And sometimes I would go buy DVDs for full asking price, pay $1. I would pay full asking price $2, $3, $4, $5 for video games. But now every time I walk in there, no questions asked, I get an employee discount, which is like 30% off everything in the store, whatever I want. So just keep that in mind when you're there. You don't have to like hit them with the uppercut first time you meet them. Just be nice to them. Talk to them. Say, "Hey, how are you doing?
Nice.
How is your day going?" Especially if it's the owner of the company and you're going to do business with them in the future. Like those relationships you built up over time, they're going to carry over. Like if I came up to him day one and was like, "Hey Tom, can I get an employee discount?" He would have been like, "Who are you? I don't even know you." So try to build up that relationship with that guy over time. And then maybe, in the future, maybe it's a month, 3 months, 6 months in the future. Now, every time you go there, the guy's like, "Oh yeah, that's Jeff. I know him. Hey, how are you doing? How is your YouTube channel going? How is your family doing?" And now I go there with a whole cart of stuff. And he's like, "Oh yeah, no questions asked. Guy gets an employee discount." And I come out with a whole shopping cart of stuff. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to give everybody the first person you see and give them an uppercut. Just try to be nice, try to be nice to them. So that's what I would say. Kajono 51 says practice negotiations is a valuable skill to learn. Sometimes it's a single sentence can be worth hundreds of thousands depending on the item. Yeah. Like I said, try to build. If you're doing a one-off thing at a yard sale and it's somebody you're not going to see again, try bundling items. But if it's like a store, if it's a brick and mortar store and you're going to see this person again and again and again, try building up a relationship with the guy. Just keep in your mind that, hey, this general manager, they have a quota of how much merchandise they need to move in every week, every month, so they can keep their job. So you're doing them a favor. So keep that in mind. I wanted to say hey to Wendy is in the chat. So hey, thanks for coming by. So hey guys, we've had you guys on the show for about 45 minutes now. I wanted you guys kind of talk a little bit about your YouTube channel and where people can find you guys at on YouTube and Instagram. I'm going to put you back on full screen.
Okay. Amy, this is all you are here.
Okay, well, our channel is called Cheap Finds Gold Mines, and our Instagram is cheapfinds.goldmines.
And yeah, we're very active on Instagram. We post every day. We kind of just, show bolos on our story and funny little clips of us. And then our YouTube channel, we try to kind of break down our bulk buys for you all and, show this game's worth money, this game's not, but these two definitely are. And just kind of educate people on video games. And again, the whole point of us making it was to show people, this may not be a full-time gig for you, but eBay can pay your car insurance for the month. eBay can pay your utilities or your mortgage, whatever it is. So that's why we made it. So hopefully, it'll take off and we get to keep making better and better videos.
Yeah. So talk about what you guys do on your YouTube channel if they want to come by and check you out. You guys do live streams. You have guests on your channel. You guys do like what sold videos. Tell people what they can go find if they come by and check you out.
Yes,
you can find everything over there.
That's true. Yeah, we do like thrifting trips all the time. So last weekend went to West Virginia. This weekend we're going over to Hazard. So not like out of state trip, but just another flea market weekend trip. We kind of show again yard sales. Once yard sale season comes back into play, we'll be at every yard sale recording and kind of showing how we ship our items. So the best, most secure way to ship a video game or, anything like that.
Yeah. And if anybody ever messages us on Instagram or if they comment like, hey, could you make a video about this? We're on it. Like, we'll do that for them.
We're super small, so
yes.
any kind of your comments that we get, we'll try to please the people.
Okay, now what are some of your goals you guys have for this year for 2021? Between now and Christmas, before Santa Claus comes to town, what are some of your goals that you guys have for this year as far as reselling and your YouTube channel? Is there anything else that kind of stands out to you, like, hey, this is the project that I want to work on?
Man, probably just keep growing the business. Hopefully by Christmas we'll be monetized. That would be nice. And then just keep growing the business. We're
get bigger and better.
Yeah, we're very kind of narrow-minded and focused on the business, and that's a part of reselling that most people don't see. People my age and her age are, they're still at the bars, getting drunk every weekend, and worrying about little drama that doesn't matter. So we kind of lost most of our friends once entering this business because we don't have time, and I don't drink, and we kind of see the bigger picture of life. Now that we have this business. So yeah, we're just super focused on the business.
Okay, cool. We got a question from Travis. He says, how many items do you currently have listed on your eBay and Mercari store?
I will tell you, we have
eBay, it's about 621.
Yeah, I was going to tell them the exact.
And Mercari, it's a little over 700. And then
okay,
20 or 30.
Go ahead. Before I let you guys go, I wanted to ask you, can you give us any tips or tricks as far as selling on multiple platforms? Because I mainly sell 95% of my items on eBay, so I don't really do a lot of Mercari or Facebook Marketplace. Can you kind of give us any advice or tips or tricks or words of wisdom as far as selling on Mercari or Facebook Marketplace or other platforms? Like, kind of elaborate a little bit on that.
You have to stay on top of it, because if you don't, for a little bit there, we were mainly focusing on Mercari because that was our main selling platform. Then we got into eBay this year, and
end of December is when we started doing eBay.
Oh yeah,
like
pretty much the beginning of this year, which is when we really started. And then once we started eBay, then we really primarily focused on that and kind of neglected Mercari. And whenever something would sell on Mercari, it was already sold on eBay, and we never took that item off. So we're just losing sales, and it wasn't good at that point.
Yeah, and a huge tip. So the reason we still use Mercari is Mercari has like a 3-day return policy. So, or within 3 days, if the buyer's not give you a rating, you get rated and you get paid. So we can sell a PS4 on there, and 3 days after the buyer receives it, we're getting paid the full amount, and they can't request a return. Now, on eBay, the buyer has 30 days to break the item, or, say it doesn't work, or buyer's, buyer's guilt?
Buyer's remorse.
Buyer's remorse. And so we choose our heavier, more expensive banger items and put them on Mercari. Because that buyer has 3 days to make up their mind. Do they want it or do they not want it?
Mm-hmm.
After those 3 days, we get paid our, the full amount. Done. It's over and done with. Don't have to stress about it. We're good.
Okay, awesome. Well, can you guys give me any your closing thoughts? Anything else that you guys would like to add before I let you go?
Just we really appreciate you giving us a chance here. We've reached out to multiple people on YouTube, and we're the little guys. We have nothing to offer, so we just really do appreciate you kind of getting our channel and our who we are out for other people to see, and hopefully we can inspire and motivate some people.
Yeah, well, guys, I would just give you a word of advice. Don't be consumed with what your subscriber count is. Don't even say, hey, matter of fact, just turn your subscriber count off. So that way you don't even look at it. You ever been to the gym and it's like you're on the treadmill and every few minutes you're like looking down to see how many miles you've ran at the treadmill? You're like, oh, I need to run 2 miles. I'm almost there. Like, get your mind off of that. Just be yourself and just keep hustling and doing your thing. You don't have to focus on your subscriber count. You don't have to focus on your 90-day total of what you sell on eBay. Just be you and do you. And everything else is going to happen when it's supposed to happen. I think when I first started, I went from 0 to 1,000 subscribers. It probably took me maybe 9 months to get there and another month after that to get my watch time hour. So just keep hustling and keep doing you, and don't be obsessed and worried about a subscriber count and worried about that. Just be you and just keep reinvesting your money back in your business and buying more merchandise. And over time, your YouTube channel and your reselling business will grow. It's not going to happen overnight, but you want to start thinking long term. Think about where you want to be at in 10 years, 15, 20 years down the road. Don't think about the here and now. Think about, hey, what am I doing right now that's going to affect my business or affect my life 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road? And once you have that long-term thinking, things will start working for you. You know, you won't be worried about every little return or every little issue you have. Just start thinking long-term and you'll get there. So, hey guys, if you guys want to go check them out, I have their links down below for YouTube and Instagram. I wanted to say hey to Save Here First, the Flippin' Sports Guy. I wanted to say hey to my buddy BK from the Rockies and everybody in the chat. I will see you guys tomorrow. My guest is Resell Junkie, and we're going to talk about how he makes $100,000 a year reselling used clothing on eBay. So if you guys want to come by and hang out, I'll see you then 4 o'clock tomorrow. Other than that, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.